Explain the obligations and requirements when client funds or premiums are received. This outcome requires us to turn our attention back to the General Code of Conduct with specific reference to Section 10. Some examples where an FSP can handle client funds would be a Category 1 FSP, such as short-term insurer holding client premiums to pay smaller claims, in some cases without directly involving the underwriting company. Another example may be an investment management firm who would likely hold a Category 2 or discretionary license, so called due to the fact that the FSP has discretion in selecting investments on behalf of a client in line with a mandate. Remember that this does not only include cash consideration, but also any financial product or asset involved in rendering the financial service. Section 10 requires that when a provider receives or holds funds and/or financial products on behalf of a client, they are promptly and properly accounted for. Where documents of title or ownership are lodged, immediate written confirmation is required, as well as a description of the assets involved, which is sufficient for identification purposes. Where funds are received without involvement from a bank, the provider must, upon receipt, issue written confirmation. Where the provider or third party is in control of the assets, reasonable steps must be taken to ensure they are adequately safeguarded. Furthermore, the provider must open and maintain a separate bank account which is designated for the client's funds and ensure the following. Funds are transferred into the account within 1 business day. Ensure that only client funds are maintained in this account. Pay all bank charges associated with the account, except those directly related to deposit and withdrawal. Ensure that any accrued interest is paid to the client. Finally, the provider should ensure the following general requirements are met. At all times, assets should be dealt with in strict accordance with a client mandate or instruction. As discussed, client assets should be discernible from the provider's assets. Subject to any contractual or statutory provisions, clients have ready access to the funds or products, less the deductions we discussed earlier. Note that the last requirement is subject to contractual or statutory provisions. For example, if funds are the proceeds of crime, the client may not have access to such funds despite the provisions of Section 10. Another example could be where the FSP will provide a cash management function by investing in short-term, low-risk instruments which may have temporary withdrawal restrictions which would be part of the contracted agreement.